All right, folks, welcome back. Game number 4. Now, this is at a point where Impact is in a bit of trouble. If he can't win this game, he will be sent to the 3rd, 4th place bronze match, and Solar will go on to the finals. Quite frankly, if you want to think about it in context, guys, the most amount of money you could possibly make out of winning this series is the least amount of money I should say you can make out of winning this series is $1,000, and the most you can make is barely 500. So it's double your money just to win this best of 5. We'll see if who and what and where. Spawning here in the bottom right corner of the map from Samsung Galaxy, it's the green Zerg player Solar.
Number left as the red Zerg, it's Axiom's Impact.
I was really shocked. Not that Impact went Mutalisks, that was almost expected, to be completely honest. I was more shocked that it was Solar who went for Mutalisks. I actually haven't seen a lot of Muta play out of him. It's been Roach, 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 and more Roaches.
Yeah, I agree. It's kind of more rare in general. Even though Impact is less surprising, it is still more different to go for Mutas than for Roaches and ZVZ. Or, you know, Mastlings or whatever. But Solar, it wasn't even like Solar played it that well, really. Like, in my opinion, Impact just made like 2 crucial mistakes. And I was like, wow, after yesterday, you really made those mistakes? Man. Okay. It was, I don't know, it seemed like an easy mistake to not do. Don't take the fight, but I decided to take a fight. I don't know.
But that's the thing a lot of the times, too. We often forget, like, we can see these numbers quite easily, and the players have to take a really big guess.
Well, that's the thing. It's what I always talk about in ZVZ is that, like, yeah, one Muta can make the big difference, but there's no way you look at a Muta flock and you're like, look, I have, like, 1 more Muta or 2 more Mutas. You can see I have 10 more Mutas, but anywhere below that is still kind of like, I'm not going to take this fight. So we usually see them bounce off each other and then go up to the upwards of like 20 or 30 Mutas, like to the really late game. Well, late game in Muta terms means just more Mutas.
Well, the Spore Crawler trick at Impact, I am actually liking. We actually have Solar doing the same thing, which is so, again, rare. Like last game, we just got 2 shiny Pokemon back to back is what's happened here, folks. So what's going to happen is the Overlord tends to dip in a little too shallow, as we see, or too deep, rather. And the Spore Crawler will go burrow right in the edge of Creep. It'll have just barely enough shots to kill it. You bring it down to the natural. You can sometimes get 2 Overlords if you're really lucky, but of course we're going to see if... ooh, Impacts might not actually go down here. He's going to reposition. He's running. He's running. Whereas Impact actually does snipe that Overlord, so Solar down 1 already.
No way Solar's going to get this Overlord now. Oh, I was about to say, maybe there's a queen popping out. He will, and he will.
Yeah, okay, so he still gets it at the end of the day, but not with the Spore Crawler. I mean, for all purposes, this was a waste for Solar, quote-unquote, whereas it worked out quite well for Impact, because one of the big things this does do, outside of like the cool factor, you know, you kill an Overlord, great, and be a little bit annoying, fantastic. Maybe you got a bit for your wall now too, but usually this supply blocks at a time where if somebody is going for something like an all-in, some sort of one-base build, it really hurts the production of Lings.
Yeah, definitely could have. But instead Impact goes just a very fast 3rd.
Yeah, that's actually quite bold, considering all things considered in this matchup. But I mean, that's what I like about Impact. Like, he's willing to take risks. He's down in the series, but that's not going to matter to him. He's going to just keep fighting.
Checking both guys' vision here. You know, Impact was the one that got a good scout and still almost survived with the Overlord. So he saw Solar did not have any gas in the main. Whereas Solar kind of just barely missed out on scouting both. This is what it looks like anyways. But of course, he scouts the 3rd. And like, usually fast 3rds are accompanied with speed. Like, if you don't have speed, if you are going gasless, getting a fast 3rd is really dangerous. Even if you know your opponent didn't get gas. Just because, like, they maybe didn't get gas immediately, but maybe they got it a little bit later. Maybe they are going for a very tricky build where they just flood a lot of Lings and you didn't expect it. Yeah. It's scary.
That is the thing. Like, it's so weird the amount of information you can lack in a matchup where you basically have map hacks on. We've got Overlord spread so far that you see everything on your opponent's side of the field, yet you still can't see those crucial bits of information.
Oh, Solar might do kind of what I was talking about. He is the one getting a Baneless and Lings, and with, you know, the Baneless above Impact, he can certainly kill that 3rd, like just straight up kill the 3rd. Even with the Roaches come out for Impact, they're surrounded. They will be surrounded.
Well, we'll see if this catches him off guard or not. He does have his own link production on the way, and I mean, whether he's going heavy on them or not because he realizes this is coming, or whether because he wants to put on a little bit of aggression himself towards Solar's third, I mean, this is going to work out well for him.
Yeah. I mean, offensively, his lings won't do so well, as Solar will see them coming and it'll make lings. But defensively, they're still going to be very useful and very helpful, especially if it includes some roaches in there. Because, you know, some roaches plus a lot of lings will actually be able to hold on to his third pretty damn well. But it's just a ling flung, but without, like, his own baneling nests. Oh, he'd have to just get, like, really lucky and hope that Solar just runs out of banelings.
Or manually detonates them, pulls the mini razor. Oops. But falling back, we'll see just how troublesome this becomes. Because truthfully speaking, as we see, you know, the banelings are a bit slow. It's hard to keep up the engagements. Impact's actually fighting these lings pretty effectively without actually having any banelings of his own, which we really didn't expect. But now he's down in numbers, that's for sure. He's going to be on the retreat out of this. And, I mean, everything he does here in the middle of the map, the more he's got them just kind of floating around like this, it's a lot... just, you know, pressure that's not going on the third, pressure that's not attacking northwards. And he does split off some of the lings, realizing that he's kind of being led astray. So, picks up the queen, can't kill the hatchery, but still, he'll be able to deal with the Solar if Solar decides to focus on the hatchery.
No, as a consequence of this, I guess, just a small one. Impact is behind in drones. Although you see on the production tab, he's doing nothing but droning now that he realizes his third is safe with the roaches out, and lings still following his lings. Solar, I mean, you could, you know where Impact's probably gonna go. Maybe leave your lings at third.
Actually, I like this. He's just starting to do the prediction moves. Like, Impact's sending one link forward to see if it's safe to run out this way. Sadly, it's not, so he's gonna have to take a fight. This actually isn't gonna go too badly for Impact. He's still gonna lose out those lings, but trades a little bit more effectively than I thought he would.
A little bit. But again, he's always going to be just a little bit behind in drones as both players are droning up to, you know, their comfortable drone count on a 60, between 60 and 70. Roach speed in the way, upgrades pretty damn even as well. There's, I guess, 2 minutes where things could have gone haywire, mostly for Impact, because, you know, Solar was one of the banelings, and nothing happened. It goes into a Roach war.
Yeah, I mean, usually when we have this sort of aggression, when you guys consider how many lings were made so far this game, like, you know, upwards of 50 each, it's like, that's usually where the game ends. It doesn't smoothly transition out to this, but with a 10-worker lead, Solar kind of just soars towards the roaches, and so does Impact.
They're both going to be trying to find ways to use that Spore Crawler to be helpful. I don't think there's one. I don't think there's a way it exists.
At this point, you're just kind of like, well, I got this thing. You use it before you lose it, I guess.
No, wait, here we go.
Oh.
They put it at the front, you know, where attacks are bound to happen, and then they snipe the Overseer in a crucial moment so they can burrow.
Burrow tunneling claws to victory. Yes, I like it, Zombie Go. Yes. I like the way you think.
This is how I win.
Actually, what is really funny, just going back to the topic of this guy, is there's some extreme cases where this gets walked across the map in the early game, and because it's an armored building unit that has 400 health, Zerglings and Queens don't kill it that fast, and sometimes you can just straight up root it in your opponent's natural base and get an Overlord kill before it dies.
Yeah, I remember we saw that twice, I believe, because it was like the same person did it twice in a row. It was weird, and only once did it work.
Hiding next to the Lich King here. Impact's going to try and get an attack here. This might not be too good of an idea. There's a lot of lings that could have surrounded those roaches, I think. But safe than sorry, he's just going to try and keep those lings alive. Mobility, mobility, mobility. And of course, Solar is moving towards banelings. So if he loses these Zerglings, he doesn't want to reproduce them to make those banelings. Roach Bane's such a powerful, such a scary move. Impact, by the way, is going to stall out production on upgrades. That's kind of a cool trick. We saw him doing this a lot, actually, the other day.
Impact, I think every single time we've seen him go Roach, he has chosen to go for the Tunneling Claws and then usually into Baneling Nest. And he's doing it again, so I guess we shouldn't be surprised. But his Baneling Nest is obviously a lot later than Solar. Solar will have speed much faster. Impact's going to move out here, but Solar's the one maxed out. He's going to have Banelings just in time, too.
Moseying around in the middle of the map. One thing I would like to see, these rocks go down. Even if he doesn't push up this ramp, just open the doorway so he's got the opportunity. But these Banelings are so scary to watch. And again, it's even though I've seen this matchup a million times over, it's always so funny because Banelings in your brain, you're just like, they kill Marines, they kill Zerglings, they don't do much against anything else. Hell, you would consider using Zerglings, or sorry, you wouldn't even consider using Banelings against, I'd say, Zealots as much as you would against Roaches, typically speaking. So it's always funny to see these come into the matchup at this stage of the game. But they do hit for so much splash damage that regardless of their bonus damage, they do so much actual damage.
This is awkward. I don't know where exactly the fight wants to go down, but both players are running around with different armies.
This is really risky for Impact. Oh, but yeah, what a sick bait! He takes like 8 Banelings out with 2 of the Roaches. Good hold position. Meanwhile, back at home, he's got to defend against Solar's Roach push. There's not a base here to defend, but he's just gonna go for it, quite frankly. I think he wanted to go for the Roach War. Nice burrow tactic. Soaks up some of the Banelings, though. Oh, soaks up a lot of the Banelings, though. And that Spore Crawler is going to provide detection and actually be useful.
Oh, hey, Spore Crawler. The other fight is, yeah, it's okay. It's going okay. Impact with, 31 Roaches on the way will be able to defend, but technically he lost out on both fronts.
I mean, look at the units lost right now. He lost so many Roaches over the course of this fight.
Yeah, he lost out on like the whole, right? But yeah. He just looks like he. Even though they split up, what?
You get the Spore Crawler, but he waits for the Overseer to clear up the Roaches.
He remembers now. He moved it, of course. I think it should go in the, it should probably be where it was to see if the Roaches go into the main and the natural. But, oh well. Impact remax really quickly. The upgrades are now even.
This fight not looking so hot, though. It takes a bit of an awkward engagement. He's going to run into a retreating force. Going to try and catch these from the backside, but he can't fight this either way. Now, we do have 2 Roaches that manage to sneak back towards the natural base. Again, save that Spore Crawler. As it goes towards the main, we'll see if he gets any drone kills. But Impact at the top of a ramp, looking for a better engagement. Solar pushing into this concave. Solar does have a lot of Roaches. He's got a lot more Roaches than Solar, but the question is, are they all here, and is this going to be effective? Some Roaches actually do manage to burrow and sneak past the army while this goes on. The Queens need to get to those front lines. They need to start laying down those transfuses. Sitting here idly like this could cost Impact an engagement.
Oh, these Roaches are going to do a lot of damage. That Spore Crawler saw them.
Yeah, and the one Roach actually stuttered to auto-attack for like a brief second. What do you think by burrowing? He could like squish one out of the ground? Alright, so Solar, by the way, did kill about 7 drones with a couple of Roaches while this was happening. The problem is, Impact's also going to lose quite a few drones. Actually, sick burrow tactics on the drones. We always talk about this. You always talk about this. We actually have the burrow save.
I didn't know I was so diligent about talking about it.
No, it's cool to actually see it go down, it's like a legend. You hear about it enough, and then finally, whoa.
Impact is still down by like 30 supply, and Solar looks like he's going to overwhelm him.
Yeah, I think a lot of this comes down to just not having that larva to work with. I mean, Impact's got 1,000 minerals in the bank at this point. It's not something you want to die with, but whether it's making Queens or just making Spine Crawlers, I mean, spend that money because he's going to lose the game if he doesn't.
Yeah, and gas, too. He's just very low on gas.
There's some rare scenarios where you see somebody come back like this, but it's like half the supply army value. Okay, drone counts, I guess, on even footing in that regard, but I mean, I just don't think Impact actually has enough units to create enough harass to stop Solar from maxing out and pushing. In fact,
if only he could get that gas. And he just threw down another gas geyser. It's like, oh, there's so many minerals in the bank. Even with them, I don't think he'd be maxed out, but still, it'd be a lot closer, at least.
Yeah. It's a messy fight no matter how this goes down. I feel like that he's like unburrowing the Queens to inject and then burrowing them again. Just keep them alive. That's a cool move. But the Roach kind of getting a little too much. The even upgrades, but it doesn't matter if he doesn't have the units to fight with. 63 Roaches over 26. Solar looks like he's going to take this fourth and final game, as Impact will fall to the bronze match following this. Yep. Alright, good game. Well, don't you guys worry. At this point, for Impact,